Fire them up. That's what we do here at the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up right here on 103.9 WYAB. Welcome back. I believe it's Thursday, and it is going to be a great show, ladies and gentlemen. We are streaming on YouTube. We are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We're even streaming on Facebook. And we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't go ahead and pick up our signal on the 50,000 watt blowtorch 1039, like, share, and subscribe to our stream. We'd appreciate that. Life is good. Life is good, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be part of the program today, that's possible too. 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. Yep, and the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show, it's standard. It is standard, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? You are the saints. I planted it, you watered it, but it's God who gave the increase. That's one of the ones that we say here. We love to reap what we sow. And that MAGA winning, can you feel it? I mean, after the primary on Tuesday, just the momentum with the MAGA movement is severe. It's strong. It's palpable. And one of the questions that was asked of me yesterday, or I asked yesterday, was why aren't more people involved publicly with MAGA? You know, you still see MAGA hats around every now and then, but not like it used to be. You see people with their Trump flags, but not as much as you used to. And Brother Rick texted in and said, Tina Peters. And I had to think about it, but you're right, Rick. People see what happens to people who are actively working, moving and grooving inside the MAGA movement, and we're persecuted. Contempt of court charges, thrown in jail, accused of doing crimes that you didn't commit. Look at what they did to President Trump. E. Jean Carroll, I got her in the mixer here somewhere, scrolling through. And you know, it's standard here at the Andrew Gosser Show. As soon as I go live, the computer decides that it wants to take a break. But E. Jean Carroll is under investigation. Why? Because she lied, ladies and gentlemen. She lied. She said she had no outside help. No outside help with her case against President Trump, where she won, and I think she was awarded, someone will correct me, $65 million. And now all of a sudden there's video floating around, and I could have swore I saved it. I'm looking for it now. Looking for it right now. Oh, here it is, coming from Mazemore. Let's do it, and let's just listen to it, because this show here, we are not like any other show in Mississippi. We're looking for things that the mainstream media purposely overlooks, that the Democrats don't want you to know, and quite frankly, probably some of the Republican leadership don't want you to know either. But we put it all out there for your consumption, ladies and gentlemen. Information, education, and entertainment. Shout out to my man, C Unit. And with that, let's listen to this right here.
My team looked at it and thought that it was that her voice should be heard, that because she was challenging someone who's so much more wealthy and powerful, it shouldn't be squashed. And that, providing that voice for, people who are otherwise would be ground down by the system or the powerful is, I think, a good thing. Obviously, especially in the case of women, and obviously, especially in the case of sexual and other, torture and attack and so providing that support was something that I felt very happy to do. The speaking truth to power and having
and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Reid Hoffman in 2023 saying he had funded E. Jean Carroll's case. Except there's one problem with this. In 2022, E. Jean Carroll said that her deposition that no one besides herself was responsible for her legal fees. And then you get something like this that pops up coming from Ground News. See how we link the dots together, ladies and gentlemen? We go that extra mile to put it all together. And I just retweeted that on my X account. That's coming from Mazemore, at Mazemore. Must follow if you are a true consumer of news. We'll hear more from Mazemore later in the program today. The Department of Justice has launched a criminal perjury investigation into E. Jean Carroll, the former advice columnist who successfully sued President Donald Trump for sexual abuse and defamation. The federal probe focuses on a 2022 videotape deposition where Carroll, at the time, 82, stated under oath that she was not receiving any outside financial support. Somebody's already fired up. Let's go with it. Hey, you're going to have to call. Hey, woo, dude. Please call back. But every once in a while, you get that horrible connection in the phone line. Got to call back. But I'll pick up. But we're going to continue. She was 82 at the time when under oath when she said that she did not receive any outside financial support. Yet, here we've got Reid Hoffman saying that he did.
And so providing that support was something that I felt very happy to do. The speaking truth to power and having a.
Yep. And so it's cut and dry, ladies and gentlemen. All the fake felony convictions against President Trump, we all know are BS. I think America's just getting fed up with both Republicans and Democrats in the whole political process. We're sick and tired of it. I knew you'd call back. Grateful and thankful. Hey there.
Thank you. Regarding the lady that was raped by Donald Trump and convicted twice, I think you're getting a little over your skis. I listened to legal experts this morning, and you are way out over your skis.
Can you tell me? Wait. I just want to know. You're fair. But which legal experts? Okay, I'm going to bring you down because you just can't come on the radio and say which legal experts. I came out and gave evidence of my sources. I'm just asking you, what are your sources?
They were on Fox News, so there had to be legal experts.
Oh no, you know that we don't trust Fox. You know that we don't trust Fox News here, right?
Frivolous. You're way out over your skis.
I think your call is frivolous because you're using text code words and you're not bringing any meat to the table. So I ask again, legal experts on Fox News, can you point me to a story?
All right, let me ask you, was Trump convicted twice in this case?
Yes, it's been appealed and he's winning. Because that's just what they do. I've been convicted of a speeding ticket and it got thrown out of court. The same principle happened, and that's what's happening now. And the left doesn't want to deal with it. I don't want to argue and yell over you. I just want to. Oh my goodness! Do you see what we got going on here? You say frivolous, greedy. That doesn't work. I think that's the kind of stuff why Americans are so tired with the whole political process. Go ahead. I'll give you the last word.
Convicted twice of rape.
Overturned. No, actually, wait. Say that again. Say that one more. Say that again one more time.
Convicted by a jury of his peers twice.
For what?
Has to pay a fine.
For what?
Now he's appealing. All the money to support his legal efforts are paid by taxpayers.
He's paying for his own tax. His own. No, but you did you hear what he said? Convicted of rape. Isn't that what George Stephanopoulos got smoked for? Where he had to walk that back because President Trump was not convicted of rape. Do you hear the mental unhingedness of the left? And I wasn't going to bring this up so early in the show, but they are losing their mind at these ICE raids. At these ICE facilities, same thing. You've got these two left-wing protesters. Are they fighting the ICE agents? No. Are they fighting the media? No. They're fighting each other. This is coming from Nick Sorter, laughing my flipping behind off. ICE agent rioters outside ICE network are now turning on each other, arguing over dumb things in the street, such as water bottles and umbrellas. Now, I would play this video, but the audio isn't that great. But the visuals are incredible. This lady opens up an umbrella on another lady, starts throwing water on the other one's camera. They're trying to decide whether or not they should block the streets. Leftists are completely unhinged, just like this last caller. And again, when you start hearing the chanting, you know you've won. And again, I would say that President Trump was not convicted of rape twice, and that whole argument, convicted 34 felonies for this, 2 felonies for that, in a kangaroo court in New York, which they're all getting overturned. But see, that's the game that the left plays, and I know because they played it with me too. They'll sit there and they'll try to get one thing on you, and then they'll come back and say, "Oh, you were convicted on this," and then it gets overturned, but nobody cares anymore. The attention's gone away, and now that this is all coming full circle, they're gonna have it. We'll take another phone call here.
Thank you for calling WYAB.
Hey, go ahead.
Unmonitored answering machine.
Well, it looks like the spam bots have rolled into the thing. It's like 3 phone calls I got like that. That's pretty crazy. But I'm not deterred by it. I'm unsustained or unwavering in my support of President Trump. Is he perfect? Nope. Am I perfect? Nope. Is that first caller of the show perfect? Nope. And we got to pick and choose our battles. We'll try this one more time.
Nope.
Hello?
No bots here, big guy.
Oh, no bot there.
No bots here. No, we real folks over here. But it's terrible. The left is melting down like fake ice cream on a hot sidewalk right now. They don't know what to do. They just grabbing and scratching the dirt, trying to find anything they can. And you know, this guy's talking about Fox News. My God, you might as well be watching the Looney Tunes show. You watching Central Casting. Most of these folks got masks on and they're reading cue cards. You know, it's a joke. They're so obvious. Everybody always knew that MSNBC and CNN and all these others were Central Casting garbage. I even bought Fox's garbage for a few years before I'm like everybody else politically woke up and like, no, don't do that no more. Look, all these places, all of it's just garbage. Everything you see on TV is garbage. The only truth is voices you hear like me and you from the streets to the ground, roots, bottom, bleeding, working Americans see the truth.
Yep.
Everyone else watches Central Casting, and that's how they get their views from. Like this last guy calling in, oh, they had to be, because it was on Fox News. That's the kind of crap we have to deal with. These guys have already been brainwashed, and try to unbrainwash that.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate
I give it to you guys, Andrew. I give it to you and Clay and all the guys on the radio station. I swear I want to be that 30-minute clip guy to come in. I'll be all, what's that midnight guy who used to come on all the time? Art Bell in the morning. I'll be Art Bell at night. I'll be Art Bell in the morning for y'all guys.
Hey, I'll pass that along.
I'll clean up some of these guys.
I'll pass that along to Matt, man. Well, hey, I didn't get your name.
Kim?
Kim?
I'm at the 042 area over here in Brandon. I call him time to time with some theology stuff and some tinfoil stuff.
Yep.
I spent my whole life studying everything except how to be a millionaire. And so here I am.
Hey, it's all good in the 042. It's all good in the 042. I really appreciate your phone call, my friend.
All right, man. You have a good one,
Yep.
Andrew. You're one of the best out there. I'm here to tell you right now, brother. I got much love for you.
Man, that means so much to me. I really appreciate it. I really do.
I'm out, big guy.
Later, brother. Look, everybody says that I'm a Trump sycophant, that I'm a Republican sycophant, that I'm a Fox News sycophant. And here we have it in the first segment of the first hour of the show today, taking down E. Jean Kelly, taking down Fox News, having the chanting, and having another caller call up and validate everything that I said about Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great show. Sit down, strap in, lock it in. As Clay would say, turn up the volume and rip off the knob. You are listening to The Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYB. We'll be right back. And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We're moving and grooving this morning. We got Dogfish coming in section saying, it's not a full moon. What's wrong with these people? No specifics, no details, no facts. It's all just a twisted hot mess. It is. But that guy has called in before, and I do appreciate him listening. And I would actually invite him into the studio where we could have a conversation. It might be, but when we get calls like that, I know it feels good because he gets to get his message out, and he does. It's effective. But so many of you get to hear that message as well. And when the middle of the roaders start texting me, saying things like, woo-wee, the Looney Tunes are out today. Get them, Andrew. Got your back. Appreciate you. Praying for you. David from Brandon. Thanks, brother. Well, I appreciate the prayers. And don't forget, tonight is the WYAB Listener Appreciation Night at Beethoven's out there on the res. Many of the WYAB hosts will be out there. I know they've got a big shindig planned. I'm just being truthful with y'all. It depends how I feel. If I've got the energy, if I've got any of the energy at all in my being, I'll be there. But if I'm not, don't think that I don't want to be there. It's just I've got to manage my energy levels. And, the main thing is taking care of my health, number one. Number two is the sweet bee, sweet toots, my family. And then after that, I put it all into the radio show. And I hope it shows with the show prep, with the guests we bring on, with the callers that we get, with the chat that's fired up. I said all we need, and all that guy needed, seriously, could you imagine that guy? I wish I could have kept it up and get there, but I'd love to go ahead and have AI put like a drum and a tambourine behind that, and maybe him talking through a microphone with the freshly painted signs and T-shirts that Dogfish so eloquently brought up. I mean, you'd have a full-blown leftist riot right there. And there is a significant portion of the people in the United States. It's a significant portion. I'm not saying it's a majority, but believe just like that guy does. And God bless him. He needs much prayer and supplication, maybe even a little fasting. Fasting from Fox News, that's for sure. I mean, who would have thought it? That on conservative talk show radio hosts like me calling out Fox News. Now, I use Fox News from time to time because they do get it right. But let's make no mistake about it. They are more of the big Republican, mainstream, neocon, war hawk type of Republican type of coverage. Whereas you got One American News Network, OAN, you've got Newsmax that's out there. And those are okay sources too. But if you want to know who I go to the Nick Shirleys out there, the James O'Keefes, the Nick Sordors. And they don't even get it right all the time. The Andrew or Andy Ings. You know? Oh my God, you get your news from a homosexual man? Yep, I do. I pray for him too. Good journalism is really hard to find. We've got good journalism right here locally. Did you know that? Brother Kingfish. This came out yesterday after I was off the air. I did have a little chat with him on my way out the door, which is always good to see Brother Kingfish. And we will get Kingfish on the show one of these days when he wants to come in and it works out to his schedule. Because Kingfish and I don't agree with everything. And we need that healthy debate. But the thing is that Kingfish and I can sit there and have an honest argument, disagreement, maybe even strong, passionate. But at the end, we're still going out for Mexican food afterwards. El Patrio's or something like that. And this is coming from Kingfish. Good job, JPD. A preliminary hearing was supposed to be held for Cardo Hardin yesterday at Hinds County Court. He stands accused of committing not one, but two murders. JPD arrested Hardin on May 12th. The police affidavit accuses Hardin of killing Michael Cannon on October 5th, 2025. Municipal Court Judge Jeff Reynolds denied bond. But this is where it gets good. Hinds County Court Judge Johnny McDaniel scheduled a preliminary hearing for Hardin yesterday. Unfortunately, the JDP detective did not show up for court. Maybe we need our chief DEI, chief of police DEI, Dr. DEI. Get on there and figure out why it was not in court. Now, if the JDP or JPD detective, Jackson police detective, got in a car accident on the way to court, wife having a baby, family emergency, I get not showing up in court. But this almost sounds like the Lake County Walk, the Cook County Walk is what we called it in Illinois. You get a ticket, reckless driving, driving under the influence, something like that, and your case would be set to the last. And the arresting officer was right there. And right as your case was getting called, oh, officer had to go potty. Steps out of the room. Court calls, or the judge calls the case to court. Your Honor, the arresting officer isn't in the courtroom. Going once, going twice. Not guilty. Dismissed. You would be shocked how much that happens. I say that like I know what I'm talking about, huh? I've seen it happen. And I'm sure it happens here in Mississippi too. I'm sure it happens everywhere. And these are the things that we don't want Jackson to be known for. And you know, so they had to reschedule the hearing again because this guy's already killed one dude, and now he's accused of killing one dude. Now he's accused of killing a second dude. Don't want to go to jail. So he's only been accused. He's only been indicted. So Judge McDaniels continued the hearing to June 2nd and did not seek bond for Hardin. So he's still in the clink. That's great reporting by Kingfish. There's other great local news stories. I don't have anything from them today, but Dark Horse Press is another Mississippi homegrown news source out there that you should be partaking in. I should find some more local journalists. I'd love to have the Nick Shirley of Mississippi. Actually, we kind of do. Gabrielle Olivier showing up to bring the smoke tour. That would be awesome. To go to some of these leftist rallies. But the thing is if you show up to a leftist rally in Jackson and you're white, you're immediately a suspect. You're immediately treated differently. Even if you're just recording or asking questions. Nope, they don't want that. They want their indoctrination secret, like the Greek societies in college. Lambda, 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 and omega moos. If you know, you know. But we need more of this exposure type of journalism where you know that the journalism isn't being sponsored in part by Pfizer. The journalism isn't being sponsored in part by a grant from the government, where you've got people who are sitting there doing it because they love their community, they love their county, they love their state, they love their country. And not that. And is that me saying everything that comes out of Fox News is bad? No, but you have to make sure that you have your 2020 vision ready to go when you're watching Fox News. And CNN and MS Now / BS Always, that's just, you're in for the laughs. And if you watched any of the election night coverage, you would be laughing. More local news. And this is like, that falls into the MS Now / BS Always and CNN category, but Mississippi Today, the fake Pulitzer Prize winning news nonprofit news network. Redistricting affects millions of Americans. Here's what's happening across the states. You know, humanity is regurgitating, and that's me putting it nicely. It's throwing up the leftist pill that's been shoved down all of our throats. Whether it be the homosexual agenda, the transgender agenda, the education agenda. Do you know that there are toys being sold now? I saw one yesterday. These were toys that I was using when I was a kid. The fraction toys. Do you remember that? Where it's like an eighth plus an eighth is a fourth. A fourth and a fourth is a quarter. A quarter and a quarter is a half. Half and a half is a whole. The circle. Remember that? The squares and the circles. You know, you can buy those toys now. They actually found out that those toys are good. and we sit here try to call out our criminal justice system, and the left doesn't want anything. Our problems are so much bigger. What you are seeing, whether you want to call it MAGA, whether you want to call it individual conservatism, Americanism, patriotism, whatever you want to call it, we are regurgitating this leftist nonsense that's being shoved down our throats, and we don't want it. And every chance we get an opportunity to call it out, we're going to do so. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYB. We'll be right back. And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show. Look, if you want to be part of the show, You can. Number 601-879-0002. Conversations always welcome. Dissenters are always welcome. Text line is open, and I'm getting a lot of texts. 601-879-5060. Look at this. We've got so many great people who listen to this show, and I'm honored to have you all as listeners. And that includes our law enforcement, whether that be federal, state, local, or otherwise. This is just a thought coming in from officer. Good morning. I am not talking up for Jackson Police Department or their detectives, but perhaps the detectives were not properly notified of the hearing. And you want to know something? That could happen. Could it be that the court system in Jackson didn't let the detective know? And I would just like to know why I missed it. Was he sick in hospital, or did he just have a hangover the night before and missed it? For me, I always want to defend our police officers and give them the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes it's difficult to do so. It truly is difficult to do so. While my computer reboots for the third time during the show, we'll go take some of these texts coming in. I was going to say this for the next segment, but we'll do it now. Mississippi State softball is set to face Texas Tech in the opening game of the 2026 Women's College World Series. Denton Park in Oklahoma City today, May 28th at 11 a.m. It's on ESPN. Go Dogs. Yep. And I attended Mississippi State for a semester or two, and then it became a political issue back home while I was elected. They didn't understand that going to college online was a big deal, but when it made the paper, I was figuring, well, might as well just take a breather on my Mississippi State adventure. But I have been there. I absolutely love the campus up there, and I've got my bell at home. The Sweet Bee wanted me to go to university up there, go get my master's in agriculture, and I was working on it specifically with plants. That's what excites me more. How I ended up a sheep farmer, that's just a whole nother story. But here we go. We were talking about Fox News and about the tambourines and the local cops. Let's try to get back on schedule here. You know what? This is we were talking about us regurgitating the woke black pill stuff, and we talked about the Texas Senate race yesterday. Let's continue that, and because it's Fox News, let's use Fox News. This is coming from the 5, and this is what they think about Telrico in Texas. And tell me if this is not how you feel right here in Mississippi. Again, the whole premise of this show is I try to bring in outside examples and how we don't want it here in Mississippi, and how some people think that it's not here when it really is.
Somehow they can't get over themselves in nominating these beta males, because all you have to do is spend some time in Texas. It is still very much Texas.
We don't want any beta males. Nope. No beta male. Not good. Not good. You want the rugged, tough type who's going to go out there and stick his neck out. Be a leader. Doesn't mean that you can't be an alpha male and be a follower as well. You absolutely can. The best leaders are even better followers. But these beta male politicians, nope, where they sit there, you shake their hand, and you feel like you got to wipe it off with some disinfectant.
Yep. And there is one thing that people in Texas love more than anything else in the world, and that's being from Texas. If you talk to someone from Texas, they will shake their hand and they'll say, "Hi, my name is Jeff."
Yep. And the same thing can be said for Mississippi. They'll sit there and hear me speak, and then, "You're not from here." "Yeah, I'm from Chicago." "But you have all the values that we have." "Yeah, I know. I grew up on the rough side of town. But I love Mississippi. I don't want it to change. Mississippi is like Illinois was back in 1992. I'm telling you.
I'm a fifth generation Texan. And if you're going to run a Democrat, then that person had better be able to wrestle a longhorn steer and, poop out a pound of beef jerky while he's doing it with a smile on his face, talking about his time as a Navy SEAL. Like, those are the only kind of Democrats that are going to succeed in Texas. It is not.
And that's the same formula here for Mississippi. The Democrats here, they want strong. Look, people are looking for strong leaders. Before it was just enough to bring home the bacon, to get your 30 pieces of silver, selling out your county, your state rep district, your state senate district. 30 pieces of silver, and everybody's happy. It's like the frog in the boiling pot. Stockholm syndrome. First caller of the show today. Look up Stockholm syndrome. You see if just do an honest assessment of yourself and see if you're exhibiting any of those symptoms. This is a case where Fox News does get it right. The commercials coming out in that Senate race are absolutely astounding. The Democrat does not like Texas barbecue. That's like running for senator in Mississippi and saying you don't want crawfish. That's heresy. And by the way, for the tinfoil conspiracy people, have you heard, and this is in my stack of stuff from the other day, have you heard about this new tick that's out that makes people resistant to digesting meat? Remember, we talked about it when the World Health Organization talked about it. Well, now it's rumors that Bill Gates is the one who is putting out these ticks. And the ticks are in the meat. So you eat the meat, and all of a sudden you can't digest the meat. And if you get bitten by one of these ticks, then you're just done. You're vegan for life. For life, ladies and gentlemen. NWO settings. These are things, man, there's only 41 days left too, by the way, to get all that information out. But I digress. What is going on in Texas is now about to switch to a new target, and that's South Dakota, because the junior senator from South Dakota is in a race. And guess what? It's MAGA against the establishment. Trump has endorsed the MAGA candidate. Will it be another victory? Will it be 102 out of 102? We will see. We will see. I'm telling you, there's a turnover going on in America, and it's not perfect. It's messy. It's ugly. Any type of fighting is ugly, whether it be warfare, fighting with your spouse, not physically, just arguing, bickering. I mean, it gets nasty. Words hurt. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. We've heard that from Proverbs. We all know it's true. Just say it like it is. But things are getting messy in America. And we've got to have these fights now. And we've got to hammer it out. We've got to say that it's not right to go out and stand in highways, shutting down commerce and traffic. We've got to start saying that it's not right to be politically violent and start assassinating people you don't agree with. We've got to get back to our Christian values and Christian norms that we used to have. What made our country so great. That's my belief anyways. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYB. We'll be right back. Yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYB. Last segment of the hour. I've got so much stuff coming in. Oxford, Mississippi, checking in. I think I'm going to save your text for next segment because I think we need to have a new segment here at the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9. It is the meme review. I don't know who sent this to me. Some unknown ex-poster. Leftists, you can't hold Muslims to American laws. Their culture is too different. Americans, that's exactly why they don't belong here. That's a good meme. Of course, I am going to censor it and take all of the words I can't say on radio. Well, I could say on radio, but Matt doesn't want me to say on radio, and I'm not going to say on radio. Here's another one. Sometimes you just got to laugh. Liberals are like herpes. There's no cure, just a constant reminder of one's poor decisions. Meme review. My goodness gracious, lovable me. You know, though, I could say conservatives make poor decisions and are constantly reminded of it. It's not just liberal, but the sentiment is appreciated. Brother Junk checking in. Good morning, Andrew. Lambda, lambda, lambda. Haha, blast from the past. Man, if you know, you know. Arguably the best talent performance in the history of college ever. Man, I was young when I saw that. Lambda, lambda, lambda. Rob checking in. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Rob. In the next hour, we're going to talk about hunters and fishermen and why they don't vote. Because they are starting to put out some stuff. Now, granted, here in Mississippi, we like to think that our hunters and fishermen are well represented. But look at some of the bills that tried to go through. The hunting dog bill that got through, where I was going to have to register Eli and Delilah and Phoebe and Ezekiel and Ghosty as potential predators for killing animals that come onto my property trying to kill my sheep or my chickens or my turkeys. And I could have gotten in trouble for it. I would have had to go to some bureaucrat to plead my case. Oh, well, you should win that easily. You don't know when you're talking to the bureaucrat. We all know someone gets in their little cush government job and all of a sudden they've got the power. They have the power to do what they need to do. Not what they need to do, what they want to do. And we all know this isn't a left thing. This isn't a right thing. This is a political thing. And even if you act right every time, it doesn't mean that you still don't think it. And I'm just telling you, tales from a recovering politician. I'm telling you, I thought it. I've never really told this story publicly, and I doubt I ever will, but there was a time where I was truly tempted. And we're talking generational change for my family. All I had to do was take a vote. And I mean, when you have all that laid down out in front of you, and you're sitting there, and the longer you think about it, the more you try to justify it. But I didn't, and I paid the price for it, and that's okay. Life is good. It brought me to Mississippi, brought me to get in front of all of you every morning, 10 a.m. to noon. Lindsey Beckham comes on after me. We're getting ready to go to the next hour, the top of the hour break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the hunters and the fishers and everything else right here on WYB 103.9. We'll be right back.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. New data signaling the economic strain for Americans due to the ongoing conflict with Iran and rising oil and gas prices. The Commerce Department figures show inflation is up 3.8% from this time last year. Costs for the basics, food, gas, utilities, and other things eating away at budgets. A separate report finding more Americans are going hungry now than at the height of the pandemic. Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
This new report from the New York Fed shows what they call a remarkable rise in food insecurity, especially among those living paycheck to paycheck. And it's especially troubling because it impacts those with young children. Between late 2025 and early 2026, there was a sharp rise in households reporting that they had to skip meals, use food banks, and rely on SNAP benefits or dip into savings to cover their groceries, which are now 2.9% more expensive than a year ago.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he's confident the economy can bounce back when a deal with Iran is secured. Bessent also announcing new sanctions on Iran's Persian Gulf Strait Authority that manages the passage through the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. accusing Iran of ceasefire violations by targeting Kuwait. Iran also claiming the U.S. is violating the ceasefire deal. ABC's Ian Pannell has more.
Iran is still saying it's not willing to make any concessions on its nuclear program. It knows full well what impact it's having on the world economy, what impact it's having domestically in terms of opinion polls and ratings for President Trump, and the impact on domestic consumers. And it knows, or it certainly thinks, that it can wait out its own economic misery. Now, that's an open question. How long can it endure what is a disastrous economic situation inside Iran?
The Supreme Court today ruling in favor of a black death row inmate from Mississippi who claims there was racial bias in the makeup of the jury that convicted him for his role in the killing of a grocery store owner. There was only one black juror on that trial. You're listening to ABC News.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful. Can we stop at a bathroom? Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI.
Local news and weather brought to you by Mississippi Energy Services. We're your fast, affordable, and friendly generator service company. msenergy.us. msenergy.us.
A woman from Mississippi dies in the Florida Keys. This afternoon, you've got a 50% chance for showers and storms with a high at 83. Overnight, you've got a 30% chance for more rain with a low at 69. Friday, you've got a 60% chance for showers and storms with a high at 83. More rain is expected Saturday and Sunday. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. It was while she was snorkeling in Florida Wednesday that Leisha Elizabeth Spriggs of Madison was spotted unresponsive in the water near Mule Key. The people she was with tried to help her with CPR and artificial respiration, which was not successful. The 63-year-old was pronounced dead after being pulled to shore by members of the Coast Guard and taken to the hospital. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine cause and manner of death. A life sentence has been handed 54-year-old Ron Allen of Jackson in the shooting on July 31st last year of his wife, 25-year-old Malia Bess, who was murdered inside the leasing office at Westwood Apartments. That's where Allen was holed up for several hours, finally giving up to the SWAT team. A truck stolen in George County was chased by police all the way into Mobile County, Alabama, where it was finally stopped, and Charles Mott and a woman named Stephanie Valentine both arrested. Authorities believe the pair not only stole the truck, but robbed and beat someone in Mississippi before the chase. Whether Carly Gregg will spend the rest of her life in prison without the possibility of parole, or whether she will have a chance at seeing freedom again, is now up to the state Supreme Court, who heard arguments Wednesday from Gregg's defense team that it's illegal to sentence a juvenile to life with no parole. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Have you ever listened to WYAB and thought, I could do that. Well, maybe you can. 1039 WYAB, Central Mississippi's stimulating talk radio station, is looking for fresh local voices to join our on-air lineup. Are you the person everybody argues politics with at work? The one your friends say should have a radio show? Then maybe it's time to stop yelling at the dashboard and start talking into a microphone. If you're passionate about current events, politics, faith, business, sports, or just telling it like it is, we want to hear from you. Previous radio experience is helpful, but personality, authenticity, and the ability to connect with listeners matter even more. This is your chance to be heard across all of Central Mississippi. If you think you've got what it takes to host a talk show on WYAB, send us a short audio sample and tell us about yourself. Email Matt at WYAB.com. That's Matt at WYAB.com today.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to hour 2 of the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB, where we're streaming on Rumble, we're streaming on X, we're streaming on YouTube, we're even streaming on Facebook, and we're also streaming at the mothership, WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the blowtorch that is 103.9 WYAB, like, share, and subscribe to our stream. Spread it around. Help us grow the station. Help us grow the stream. We'd appreciate that. You can follow me on X, where I post all of my stories that I'm using. It's simple. It's just at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGosser, AndrewGasser. Phone number, if you want to be part of the program, 601-879-0002. Shout out to the blue collar crew. Text line is open too, 601-879-5060. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip you, the saints. Who are the saints? You all are the saints. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that which will he also reap. And that's so true. That's so true. And I got all these stories coming in. I do have more on the Texas Senate race and fallout from MAGA, because MAGA is dead, apparently, if you want to believe the mainstream media. But I got a couple really good stories coming in. And the first one's coming in from Oxford, Mississippi. Petition to ban hunting and fishing in Oregon reaches threshold to be on the ballot this fall. This is coming from the Gateway Pundit. And it's frightening. They're finding out that a lot of hunters and a lot of fishermen are not registered to vote in Oregon. And my thought is if it's happening in Oregon, is it happening here in Mississippi? Now, the one thing that Oregon has that Mississippi doesn't, which a lot of people are truthfully upset about, is the ballot initiative. We in Mississippi do not have a ballot initiative. If we want a law passed, well, you elect your state senator, you elect your state rep, you have them put in a bill, and you schmooze it on up that way. And by schmooze, I'm not trying to say anything illegal or slimy, or it's just it works its way through the system. It's how the sausage is made, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I got this bill over here. You all right with this bill over here? You co-sponsor mine, I'll co-sponsor yours. Yep. We'll work together. We make it happen. Boom, chakalaka, boom. But hunters and fishermen, and I'll even throw farmers into that. Farmers, we're always active locally, but are we always out there voting? I could pull the voter rolls for Hinds County because I know about 100 farmers, and I could actually go look and see if they're voting or not, or even registered to vote. But that's really not my concern. My concern is it's a bigger problem that's out there. The political apathy. It's like there's never a break from election season anymore. There's never a break from anything, really, if you think about it. 84% of Americans aged 17 to 80, 84% of Americans aged 17 to 80 wake up and the first thing they do before they even get out of bed to go to the potty, they check their cell phones. Tell me we're not programmed. We're looking for whether it be the email for work, see what you got going on there. Might be the weather. If you're a farmer, if you're me, you're turning off the biblical commentary on Revelation that I listen to almost every night. Sometimes I'll listen to Ezekiel. Sometimes I'll listen to Daniel. Sometimes if I'm feeling really froggy, I'll throw in a little Genesis. Mostly Revelation commentary. But we all do it. And we're just so sick and tired of the political news that we don't want to be involved, and we start checking out. And then you have people like me on the radio saying, hey, 2027 isn't too far away. You better start thinking about it now. Hey, 2028 isn't too far away. You better start thinking about it right now if you want to run. And you're like, Andy, I just want to go get bread from the bread store. How do you want me to talk about this now? Why do you want me to spend my energy and brain bits now? Well, like Trump, we got to be able to walk, chew bubble gum, pat our heads, and rub our tummies at the same time. And it's going to be a real big test in Oregon to see if this hunting and fishing bill actually passes, because all the losers in the towns and in the suburbs who don't hunt and don't fish, oh, they're voting for this. You got to save the fish. It's not right to shoot a deer. And this also goes into trapping too. It's pretty wild. I was educated because that's what we do on this show. We educate, inform, and entertain. That if there is a bear going after one of my sheep and I try to defend my sheep and I kill the bear, I could get in trouble. I'm like, is that true? And I had 2 people call me up and say, Andy, yeah, it's true. That scares the heck out of me. A bear goes after my sheep, and Ezekiel and Eli and Mags and Ghosty and Delilah decide to do a 5-on-1 tag team. I lose 2 of my dogs and the bear too. Do I get in trouble for that? It's ridiculous. I just find it interesting that there's so many groups of people out there who are so politically connected, who are so involved in stuff. And yet when it comes down to their issues and stuff, they're finding out that they're not even registered to vote. And that's a problem that affects us all, because whether your main issue is hunting and fishing, whether your main issue is farming, might be energy, we all need to be working together on this, because if we don't, we don't. Now, I get so many texts from regular texters who give me a lot of stuff. And diesel shortage is coming soon if the strait isn't open. Not saying there won't be fuel, but $8 to $10 per gallon. I ran the oil prices, and we are sitting at West Texas crude at 91 a barrel, Brent crude at 97 a barrel. But this is what I want to say about this. And if you disagree with me, you can call in right now and let's have this debate. The United States of America will not have a shortage of gasoline, oil, or diesel. We are 98% dependent on ourselves. I said this before, and I will continue to say this again. We are being impacted by a cartel, a drug cartel, a narcotic cartel, a petroleum cartel. That's why President Trump is doing what he's doing, trying to bust this OPEC thing up. And what really, I almost said a bad word. Almost said a bad word. What really ticks me off are these whiny liberals who are playing both sides of the coin. And one of the coins are playing the same side twice. They sit there and they complain about us going to war with Iran when they were comfortable with the enslavement of Muslim women, Muslim men, black men and black women in Africa and over in Iran and Iraq, work in the oil fields because you want your cheap oil so that you can go get your cheap coffee from Starbucks. Well, it's not cheap, but you get the point. You want your cheap gasoline, you want your cheap food, so you'll go pay the cheap price for fertilizer coming out of the Middle East, child labor, slave labor. You'll pay for that. You'll totally fund Europe's economic woes. But you know how Europe is so left right now? It's because they're taking $1 to $2 to $3 a barrel off the top of every barrel of oil going through the Straits of Hormuz. You're okay with that. You hypocrite. And then there's the right saying, hey, we don't want to pay these high gas prices. We don't want to do that. I say, the left, you should be loving these high gas prices. You should be absolutely loving it. You get out there with Greta Thunberg and out there, big oil, Green New Deal. You and AOC. Oh my God. By the way, speaking of AOC, did you see she just gave a speech in New York with a hijab? And Mayor Zoran Mandami was out there, spotted in an Arsenal kit. We renounce his fanship. Zoran Mandami, you are fake Arsenal. You are not a gunner. We rebuke you. Can't be doing that. Arsenal is a global club, but I digress. You want to be out there with AOC and Greta Thunberg pushing this Green New Deal. You want that $7 a gallon gas. You want that $13 a gallon diesel price. You want the Green New Deal. At the same time, you don't want the data centers. But the data centers are how you generating all of your spy bot attacks. And man, speaking of data centers, did you hear about that one data center that's in Georgia right now? People have lived there 15, 20 years. Brownouts, no water pressure. Eminent domain, government abuse on the rampage. I wonder if they're going to try to pull that here in Mississippi. Good morning, everybody listening on YouTube. I see the names flying by. I wonder if they're going to try to pull that in Mississippi. And there are some of really good, smart people who think that the data centers are nothing more than Big Brother monitoring stations, flock cameras. You know who's one of the biggest users of flock cameras right now, besides the government? Ryan Hall, y'all. I'm telling you what, and this is no slight on WLVT or anything like that, but when I know bad weather's coming, I immediately open up Ryan Hall, y'all, and I'm listening. And if he's talking about Mississippi, I'm really listening. And if you ever hear him mention Terry, Mississippi, he might be tuned into me, because that's one of the descriptions I have. I live out in the middle of nowhere, Terry, Mississippi. And like I said yesterday on the program, if I've got a bad storm coming, my first and overall game plan is to flee, is to run away with lightning fast quickness. Let's tell Todd yesterday. Superior Foundations, my house, it'll be lifted up and moved away. And I don't want to be a part of that. So you Green New Dealers, you keep on, you should be thanking President Trump for the higher gas prices. You should be thanking the Arab mullahs who are mining the Straits of Hormuz the Shias, not the Sunnis, the Shias, get it right. Know your Muslims. You should be thanking the Islamic Republic of Iran and their speedboats that are harassing innocent shippers around the world. I'll tell you what, nothing has pointed out more to me about what a racket Lloyd's of London and the English are when it comes to shipping insurance around the world. They've had the global market on global shipping insurance for over 300 years, and Trump's about to break it. And his own team is getting ticked off because it's taken longer than they wanted to. Could you imagine if we would have had World War II with X and CNN and MS Now / BS Always, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Washington Post? We'd lose the war. I've said it before, and I say it again as we get ready to go to break right here on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. The biggest weapon Iran has left is the mainstream media in the United States of America. We'll be right back.
.9 WYAB.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available, or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at DaviniEquipment.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Discover history like never before at the American Military History and Antique Show, celebrating 250 years of freedom. Join us Saturday, June 13th and Sunday the 14th at Brandon City Hall for living history displays and over 20,000 square feet of military memorabilia. Shop 300 tables of unique Father's Day gifts and enjoy food, family fun, and more. Admission is just $10. Kids 10 and under free. Proceeds benefit Wounded Warriors of Mississippi. Learn more at scv265.com.
Metal Builder Supply in Pearl provides quality commercial and residential metal roofing, pre-engineered steel buildings, mini storage facilities, pole barns, and steel components with old-time service and competitive prices. Through our commitment, experience, and expertise, Metal Builder Supply has established a business relationship with our customers that will last a lifetime. When you need metal roofing, reflective insulation, trim, or metal decking, contact Metal Builder Supply online at metalbuildersupplypearl.com.
Our flag was still there. The official 250th celebration flag is available at a Complete Flag Source on I-55 North in Jackson. It's just one way you can show your appreciation for the greatest country on earth. Flags for all occasions. International and state flags too. Flagpole construction available. You can check it out at CompleteFlags.com. A Complete Flag Source, I-55 North in Jackson.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Back on 103.9 WYB. This is the Andrew Gosser Show. Number, if you want to call it, 601-879-0002. Text line 601-879-5060. This just got sent in to me. Futurism.com, ladies and gentlemen. Well-known website with a reputation. The data center scramble feeding off the AI boom is no longer just raising utility prices for nearby civilians, but it's rerouting the utilities entirely. Bombshell new reporting from Fortune details the plight of residents in Lake Tahoe, California, on the border of California and Nevada, whose electrical supplier is cutting them off in order to supply more energy to the nearby data centers. I'm telling you now, data centers is a great way to get that in big kick of money. But Mississippi, we better figure out how we're going to power it all. Maybe Valor Nucleonics with their portable nuclear generators that fit in the size of a semi truck trailer, 53-footer, I think I want to say it is. But this is coming, and you've heard it here first. The conspiracy theorists are 73-0-1. This might be 74. I got sidetracked in the first hour because I wanted to get going on this John Thune stuff, but we had that caller in, and he's definitely still out there listening. We know he is, and we're grateful for him. Guess who had a mailer sent out to every South Dakotan voter the other day after John Cornyn lost to the MAGA endorsed candidate Ken Paxton? If you would have said Senator Thune put out a mailer up for himself, John Thune put out a mailer for himself, America First results deliverer John Thune. Call Senator John Thune and thank him for being part of, it's kind of blurry, it's a bad screenshot, part of the solution, and gives his DC phone number. Thune has done an incredible job. President Donald J. Trump. When did he say that? July 2nd, 2025. Mr. Leader Thune, when's the last time President Trump has said you're doing an excellent job, incredible job? Could you put sometime more recent? This is what these senators do. They live off the backs. They feed. They're like parasites. They feed off the energy of whoever it is, whether it be MAGA. It could be left-wingers too. When Biden was in power, the left-winger fed off that energy until it wasn't no longer doable. It's just what they do. People asking me to go ahead and already put this on X, so I just reposted it. I'm telling you what. They're scared. And like I said, South Dakota's got a primary on the 2nd of June. What are we doing about it? You know, we haven't talked about redistricting. I am going to go to the Republican Lincoln Day / Reagan Day / Trump Day dinner. I'm not going to, I was thinking about actually getting a sponsorship table and bringing a couple of listeners along with me. But I don't think I need to. I just think I need to show up in a nice suit with my MAGA hat on. And that'll send the message that we want redistricting done. John Thune, you could become the hero tomorrow. You could walk up onto the floor of the Senate and drop the Save America Act right now, but you won't, because your one world government order, new world order, deep state donors won't appreciate that at all. You'll do it at the last second, and we'll get the Save America Act. I honestly think we will get the Save America Act, like 2 days before the election. 2 days before the election. And now it's like literally my phone is beeping as it's coming in, talking about how the Texas run for senator is going to be the most expensive race in Senate history. It probably will be. And let the Democrats dump all that money in there, just like Senator Thune dumped all that money in there. Texans are not stupid. People are actually more engaged. At some point, we're going to say, we don't want the money. We want someone who's going to represent us, who's not going to be there just to take a vote. And our Mississippi senators need to know that too. Cindy Hyde-Smith's up for re-election coming up here in November, up against a Democrat. I've been on the record, Cindy Hyde-Smith from day one. Not that she's perfect, no politician is, but she's a lot better than what we could have had. And I have really good friends who are on the other side of that. But Illinois politician moving to Mississippi to run for office with positive comments on Kamala and her social media history, no mas, not for me. But you might be able to get through to that, and you might be able to overlook that. And if you can, that's fantastic. I support you in your vote, because at least you're out there voting in the Republican primary. You know that there's a lot of Republicans in Hinds County who won't vote in the Republican primary because they're more worried about who the sheriff is going to be or who the attorney general is going to be. Or the state's attorney, not the attorney general, excuse me. County-wide offices. Good old Bobcat down there in District 5 in Hinds County. Talked to him twice. Bobcat, we still got that dead tree that's about to fall over. We really could use it taken down, just saying. But now they're talking about the people who are running for office for the new South Dakota governor primary. The MAGA candidate is barely ahead. The Senate candidate, the MAGA candidate, is barely ahead. And they're going up against two, I'm not going to call them the R word. I'm just going to say establishment types. And the establishment types have all the money. It's why I offer to try to teach people what I know. Because if you knew that, you would realize how much of a house of cards this really is. States all Republican congressional delegation will not attend Trump's South Dakota event. Yep, that's a big news story. We are knocking off establishment Republicans' GOP primaries, but there's an important race lying right underneath the radar. The South Dakota governor's race features MAGA Trumper Toby Doden versus Thune ally Dusty Johnson. Who wants to go ahead and vote for Toby to beat anti-Trump candidate Dusty? And, it says a lot when Trump's coming in to have a fundraiser and do an event in South Dakota, and the leader of the Senate, the Republican leader of the Senate, isn't going to be at that. I'm not saying that this would happen. I'm not going to put words into any of our Washington delegation. But if Trump flew in to Mississippi, I would guarantee that they would be there. When Vice President Vance came and spoke at Oxford Turning Point event, you know who I ran into? Mr. Kelly, Mr. Guest. Great conversation, shook hands. They know I don't agree with them on everything. But hey, you got to have that because you never know when Congressman Guest might be able to take action against Ilhan Omar and her not being a legal U.S. citizen and should not be in Congress representing the 7th or the 5th district of Minnesota. You just never know. But you got to be there. If you don't have your skin in the game, if you're not sitting out there putting yourself out there, it's not going to work. I try to motivate people to do that. School board and whatnot. But anyways, that's about all I've got on Senator Thune, the Save America Act, the redistricting stuff that's going on. There is that big event coming up June 4th, the Republican Lincoln, Reagan, Trump dinner. Tickets are kind of pricey, not bad. It is a fundraiser after all, remember that. But I encourage everybody to go. If you've never gone to one, you should. Honestly, you will meet people who are like-minded with you. You'll meet people who are not like-minded with you. You'll have a chance to see people inside the government who you might want to have a talk to. And of course, you can buy sponsorships and get private access and all this other stuff. But it's my hope and dream before I kick the bucket, and I'm not kicking the bucket anytime soon, but to just have a bunch of young, on-fire conservatives roll up into the Republican Party and say, hey, this is the direction we want it to go. This is one of those opportunities. We'll talk about another one of those opportunities right after we take this next break right here on the Andrew Gosser Show. You're listening to 103.9 WYB. We'll be right back.
WYAB. Managing payroll, benefits, workers' comp, and HR tasks can take valuable time away from running your business. That's where People Lease comes in. From payroll processing and tax filing to employee benefits and retirement plan administration, People Lease helps simplify your back office operations while improving employee satisfaction. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Schedule your consultation today at peoplelease.com. That's peoplelease.com.
Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran growing more fragile with each day, with no deal in sight. Each side now accusing the other of violating the truth. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Jerusalem with more.
The truth is this was the second round of strikes in about 48 hours, certainly second round that we've seen this week. You've also got escalation by Israel north of the border inside Lebanon, where there's supposed to be another ceasefire in place. And that's what everyone's talking about, accusing each other of violations of the ceasefire. And meanwhile, no progress towards this interim agreement.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent today announcing new sanctions against Iran, this time the agency controlling passage through the Strait of Hormuz. The continued blockade driving up oil and gas prices worldwide, with two new economic reports showing Americans are struggling with inflation on food, groceries, and rent. Another report from the New York Fed showing more Americans are dealing with hunger at levels higher than seen in the pandemic. This is ABC News.
Now is the time to turn over a new leaf and shower yourself with savings at Mazda of Jackson. Mazda of Jackson has rates as low as 0.9% on select models, or spring into savings with up to $3,000 in customer cash with approved credit. Get to Mazda of Jackson today, where certified pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to ring partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Ream and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Here we go. Back at it on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB, moving and grooving. Did you listen to that news report from that female info bimbo? Americans are hurting, and then gas prices are up. I can't tell you what gas prices are where you were, but about 3 weeks ago, I had to fill up my Prius at $4.20 a gallon at the Shell station I go to. I filled up yesterday at the Shell station, $3.89. Gas prices are up. I go here and I literally get the lifetime oil feed saying oil prices are down. And what does ABC News do? Oil prices are up. It's the disingenuousness, the manipulation. That's what it is. You want to know what it is? It just hit me. Going through SEER school and learning about how to manipulate and produce propaganda. You know when it's happening to you. And I think those of us who went through that, we can smell that crap a mile away. And we're being propagandaed. We truly are. It's not to say that we know gas prices are higher. We all agree with that. But the way that they're putting it out, the way that they're manipulating it, they're using you, man. This is like Grand Admiral Thrawn, Palpatine type stuff. I got this text coming in from data centers and stuff. And there's stuff I want to agree with this unknown texter. And there's stuff that I don't agree with this unknown texter. They said they used eminent domain against the holdouts when Nissan came to Madison County. Yeah, they tried to do that when I was a county board supervisor. And I'm happy to say I was the no vote that killed the project. Proud of it. It's your property. If you're not doing anything wrong with it, you're not hurting anything. It's your property. Look, you know what? Like the $1 Million Man says, everybody's got a price. You might not like that price. Today's prices may not be yesterday's prices, but you've got a price. But this is the spot that I disagree with. And callers, you tell me what you think about this. Data centers do not provide products or services, and the human employees will be minimal. They do not do anything positive for the economy. This is where I would respectfully disagree. Because what used to take me 3 hours to do walk lists for political campaigns, I can now put that data into Grok and tell it to do X, Y, Z, D, D, X. And instead of me paying $500 for a walk list for a campaign, I can now do it for about 10 minutes of work. And then I can go out and sell that for the same price that I was selling that $500 for. It makes more productive. I do agree with what your premise is that there's no tangible physical something you can put your hand on, but that's how all new disruptive technology is. I actually owned the domain name disruptive.com back in 1997, and for some reason I let it go. Man, was that a mistake, because it's worth a gazillion dollars today. I wish I would have kept it. That's a oops. But this disruptive technology that we've got, I mean, here's an example. With AI technology, I just typed into Grok. History of mayors in LA since 1972 individually. Include name, sex, party, race, age, elected, reason for leaving office. And it literally goes through it all. Sam Yorty, male, Democrat, white, first elected at age 52, left office because he lost election in 1973 to Tom Bradley, served until 1 July 73. Tom Bradley, male, Democrat, ethnicity, African American, took office, retired after 5 terms in office. I guess Tom Bradley was a popular fellow. He was there from 73 to 93. Richard Warren, male, Republican, moderate. It puts moderate in there. White Irish Catholic, 63, finished after its term limit. So LA elected a Republican for 2 terms. James Hahn, male, Democrat, white, 50 to 51, defeated in re-election bid by Antonio Villagorusa. And so see, but again, it just goes to show you that these Democrats, Latino Mexican this time, another Democrat after him, Eric Garcetti, term limited, tried to save himself and get himself elected for an extra term, but it didn't work. And then now we have got Karen Bass, female Democrat, African American, who is burning LA to the ground. But that's some of the good stuff that you can use AI for. It is not all bad, but most of it is bad. Because most of them are just doing stuff, just treating it like entertainment. Draw me a picture of this. Draw me a picture of that. What's the weather in Shrewsbury, England today? Texter text in, did you see Donald Trump's truth post about Ken Paxton? It's hilarious. Why? Thank you for bringing that up to me. And this is the last basic segment of the show, so I want to get to many off the top of the hat things I can. Congratulations to Ken Paxton on such a tremendous win, and to John Cornyn for running such a strong and powerful race. But more importantly, having had a truly great career. John will remain my friend for a long time to come, as we both watch Ken become a fantastic common sense senator, one who is respected by all. His opponent, Alfred E. Newman, didn't even say his name, may be the worst Texas candidate I have ever seen. A strong open borders advocate. He was weak on crime, believes that there are 6 genders, is insulting to Jesus Christ, will never support the military, was a big mask wearer, and until recently, and is a vegan who dislikes meat. Not exactly a good way to be if you're wanting to win an election in Texas. Jasmine Crockett, a very low IQ individual who has no reason to the legendary, or has no relation to the legendary frontiersman, Davy Crockett, would have been a far better choice for the Democrats. I will do some nice, big, beautiful rallies for Ken in Texas. This will be fun. God bless America, President DJT. Yep. Imagine when Trump's probably got the whole thing figured out and mapped out already, but wait till we just start seeing him execute the plan for 2028. Imagine, Mississippi's an off-year election, 2027. He could spend a lot of time here. Who else is an off-year election? Virginia. Commonwealth of Virginia is an off-year election. It could be dark times for the establishment if Mississippi got on the radar scope of Donald J. Trump. And I think that's good. I do appreciate how he did call out and thank John Cornyn for his service. You might not like that, but that's how these things are done. And you have to be that way. John Thune's trending. We'll get this last story in. Recess appointments by the numbers. Senator John Thune needs to be the next John Cornyn. Tell him if you agree. How many recess court appointments did Bill Clinton have, ladies and gentlemen? 139. How many recess appointments did George W. Bush have? 171. How many recess appointments did Barack Hussein Obama have? 32. How many recess appointments did Joseph A. Biden have? Not quoted. How many recess appointments has Donald Trump had? Democrats, come on, bring the fire. 0. John Thune has not allowed any recess appointments to go through. I'm telling you, Roger Wicker and Cindy Hyde Smith, you should be doing cartwheels. Don't do any cartwheels, Roger, Miss Cindy. I know I'm younger than you both, but I can't do a cartwheel. I know you probably can't do a cartwheel either. But it'd be a fun thing to think about back in the day. I'm sure we all could do it back in our prime. But John Thune is screwing up the Senate, and honestly, this just adds to the fuel to the fire for some of these conservatives that I talk to out there when they say, John Thune's not on our side, that these big time Republicans are not on our side. We've got real issues we need to fix here, ladies and gentlemen, real issues. And we can only control what we can control, which is here in Mississippi. One of the things you can do is maybe show up tonight at Beethoven's on the Res for WYAB Listener Appreciation Night. Love to see you. I'm hoping to be there. We'll talk about it in the next segment. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Yeah. Welcome back here to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB as we wrap up the show. Look, tonight, Beethoven's on the res. WYAB Listener Appreciation Night. Would love to have you there. All of the hosts are going to try to be there. I know that if I'm feeling up to it, I'll be there. It starts at 6 o'clock. It'd be great to come out and meet y'all, put a face to the name, to the voice. Be awesome. Look forward to it. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Chris Hinkle chiming in on the meme review. The Karl Rove whiteboard, February 2008 to May 2026. Rest in peace. Yeah, I used to call Karl Rove the Dark Lord of the Republican Party. And I can remember when he first started doing his shtick, as they would say in the business. And something just didn't rubbed me the wrong way. Much like a lot of times people rub you the wrong way. I'm sure I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, not everybody's for fiscal responsibility, limited government, and free markets. I get that. Some people need their grift. They need their government drip. But hey, I digress. With everything that's going on, with Ken Paxton, with John Thune, with President Trump, we will continue to follow this up. I want to continue to make sure that we put the pressure where it needs to be put with respect to Ilhan Omar. And the best thing you can do is just forward the documents at ajkern.com to Congressman Michael Guest and just say, please look at this. And let him give you an answer. If he says, I've already looked at it and it's good to go, just let me know that he's looked at it because I'll stop. The other thing we can do is we can call our senators and say, hey, what did you do to have the Save America Act passed today? Oh, I co-sponsored it. No. What did you go to Fox News? Did you go to CBS? Did you go to WYAB? Did you get on a local radio program and say, we need the Save America Act today? Do me a favor. I mean, that's when you know a congressman or a senator wants something passed. Call me and let me know that you want the Save America Act passed. It's funny how that works out because, once the people start understanding civics, we're going to be in such a better place. And, we had Brother Blake in here earlier this week, and he talked about his government class, AP. That means college credit. College credit, ladies and gentlemen. And they didn't go through this stuff. We've got to get this information out there. I don't want to be at this reservoir of political knowledge. I want to share it. I want you to be individual commanders. We had this one woman in the other part of the county. I called her the Spring Grove Commander, and she ran her 4 precincts. She was great. Why can't you do that? The truth is you can. You just need a little bit of mentorship, a little bit of inspiration, a kick in the butt, and put you into the field of play. We can do that here on the Andrew Gosser Show, 103.9 WYB. Big shout out to the Sweet Bee and Sweet Toots as they are traversing across New York with Mama Clues as she turns 80. We love you, Mama. Can't wait to see you. We'll be back in about 22 hours, ladies and gentlemen. The Lindsey Beckham Show is on next. You've been listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYB. Be well, be blessed, yes, and amen.